Dude, your story sucks. You just need to be honest. It's really that simple. Like, your story sucks. If you want to be honest, I'll sit down with you and try version 19. You just said when we were leaving.
I'm trying to protect my own.
That's
not from you guys.
But that's the problem. You're still telling a half version of the truth, which doesn't work.
This is Willard Chaden Miller, a 17-year-old student of Fairfield High School. He has been brought to the interrogation room for a suspicion that he might be behind a horrific crime that shook the entire community. Just a day before the interrogation, Nohema Graber, a 66-year-old Spanish teacher from the same high school, was found dead. Now he's a suspect. However, the interrogator would soon lose his mind after watching Willard's stupid web of lies.
You tell a little lie, and by now your avalanche makes no sense because you're full. So, like I said, I've been awake for way too long to listen to a story.
It all started on November 2nd, 2021, when Nohema Graber went on her routine evening walk on the Chautauqua Park in Fairfield, Iowa. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary to her that day, but Nohema didn't know what fate had in store for her. Till late in the night, Nohema didn't return home, which made her husband, Paul Graber, worried. So he immediately went to the nearby police station and filed a missing person report. As the investigation proceeded, Nohema was all over the news.
The teacher was reported missing on Wednesday. Her body was found under a tarp in the park later that day.
Her body, with severe trauma to the head, was found hidden in a local park.
Initially, this case seemed confusing for the most part. However, it didn't take long to connect the dots. To uncover these answers, the most important thing for the police to understand was the timeline of events and the physical evidence. Based on the crime scene evidence, it was absolutely obvious that Nohema was not robbed because none of her valuables were taken away. Moreover, with the cause of death being intense trauma to the head and no trace of missing items, the detectives started suspecting that it was rather a murder. Moreover, with her being concealed in a tarp with railroad ties and a wheelbarrow over her body, it totally projected towards an attempt to get away with the murder. But there was just one thing that was hard to crack. Why would someone kill a respected teacher out of the blue? So the police investigated people around the park. They came to learn that Nohema reached the park in her van at about 4 p.m. However, just after 42 minutes, the witnesses saw two individuals in the front seat and driving her car out of the lot. But Nohema was nowhere to be seen. Upon further questioning of the witnesses, detectives found out that these two individuals were in fact teenagers. Trying to find a clear answer, detectives reached out to Nohema's students for any information that could be helpful. And this was when the case took a significant turn. A few students pointed out two guys from their class based on certain private contents from their social media. With this evidence in hand, detectives finally found two suspects, Willard Chaden Miller and Jeremy Goodale. Willard finds himself in the interrogation room in the morning hours of November 4th, 2021.
I'll wake you up, man. No. Hey, at least you're not doing some driving tests right now, right?
Well, it was my last one, and I've been 16 since August 9th, and I have a car and everything, and I passed driver's ed back in June. The drives just keep on getting put off, so no, I was actually looking forward to finishing up, but
yeah,
it's okay.
You know what? It could be worse.
So it sounds like Vic introduced you. My name's Ryan. I work with the DCI too, and so I'm just going to sit in the interview, and we got a lot of things we want to go over with you, and I'm sure you'll have some questions for us when we get done, so.
Yeah.
Seeing that he's still a juvenile, interrogators believe that they'll be able to get answers from him without resorting to extreme measures. So they start off easy, asking him about his studies, and decide to slowly bring up the topic of Nohema.
Ambition and getting started.
Okay.
I'm like, things are great after I get going, and freshman B was a lot better at getting started, so my GPA was better than that.
Okay, but now you're getting B's, B+.
Yeah.
Short of Spanish, there were some issues.
Yeah.
What were you getting in Spanish?
Oh, I was doing great because, so I started the year like any other with open mind, ambition. I want to get the work done. I'm not like the kids. I don't see how many people just stay in class on their phone when, like, they know that work's done. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Honestly, and it makes your life hell. And it really just over your future, honestly. So I start with ambition and I'm working, and it's like the class, the way she teaches, it goes right over my head. The way I work, I relate things to pattern, and I review them over and over again. So I'm not bad at Spanish. Spanish 1, I got a B+. Miss Ruby, she's great. She used technology. We would do Quizlets and review flashcards every day. Miss Graber's very old-fashioned. Hates technology.
Yeah.
Well, makes your life hell if she sees your phone. And she's not that great at English. So there's that. And she kind of just stands in front of the class and like talks about stuff, and then we'll give us worksheets. But I feel like the information has not been covered nearly enough.
Miller has presented himself as a good student, always focused on studies. But just because of Nohema, he's not been doing well. Well, bad-mouthing a teacher who's dead says a lot about one's character. Moreover, contradictory to his statements, Nohema was actually a very successful woman. She started her career as a flight attendant with the Mexicana de Aviación and later became Mexico's first woman trained to operate passenger jets. Later on, beside being an active participant in St. Mary's Catholic Church, Nohema soon passed from Iowa Wesleyan University with a degree in English. She then started her career as a teacher at Ottumwa High School before finally joining Fairfield High School in 2012. Even students from the school had only good things to say about her.
Her overall energy was very good. I would walk past her in the halls and she would say hi to almost every single student. She was a very nice person.
So it becomes quite hard to believe what Willard has been saying. But it's just the tip of the iceberg. His web of lies was about to begin soon. However, let's first see his recollection from the day of the crime.
Until 12:40, and then just got up, did my morning routine, and then went to school to meet with Miss Graber.
Okay.
At 1:15, and then whatever we need to do, right, so you guys say.
So you guys are going over your Spanish, your homework. So you're there at 1:15 for meeting. Do you know about what time you leave there?
2:30.
2:30 when you leave. Okay. And obviously, Miss Graber, do you see her leave with you guys at all, or is she still at school?
I know that the school has said that the last time they see her on the cameras is leaving at 4. I know that she leaves at 4. School leaves out at 3:30. Teachers usually stay an extra half hour or however long for kids to come in and do work, or they'll, keep grading and do what they need to do. So, no, she leaves at 4.
So she's there at 2:30. You said the school says she leaves at 4.
Yeah. So
you guys leave. Where do you guys go?
To my mom's office.
Okay. Where's that at? What time you guys leave there? Do you leave there together?
No, I left first. I walked home around 4:45.
Okay.
And I went home and hung out for a little bit, and then went to my room and did more work. And then she came home.
The interrogators now know that Willard was alone for a period of time, providing a window for him to commit the crime. Investigators have this opportunity to press for details, but are opting for a longer approach, possibly to encourage Willard to confess on his own. But as they can clearly see, Willard looks a bit nervous, and so they decide to slide in a topic which might make his story break.
Listen to your friends. Are you friends with a guy by the name of Jeremy?
We're acquaintances.
And by Jeremy, I'm talking about Jeremy Goodale? Yeah.
We grew up together and went to the same school.
How close are you?
It's on off, because we're both strong, confident, good at arguing. So when we get along, we really get along.
Yeah.
And when we don't, we really don't. Okay. So we kind of just came more surfacey.
Right.
But he's good. He's cool.
Okay, cool. When was the last time you saw him?
School.
Yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We usually sit at the same lunch table with some other people.
Oh, okay.
Pretty daily.
Okay. How were you guys yesterday? I mean, you guys on an on again or off again at this point?
Oh, I mean, we on. We didn't talk that much, but
yeah. I know Dick was kind of focusing in on that Tuesday night when you had gone to your mom's office, and then you said you walked to your house.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just 5 blocks.
Yeah. During that span from when you left school with your mom until you went to bed, did you ever cross paths with Jeremy?
I don't think so.
Like not on the walk or not going for a quick skateboard or anything like that?
No, I know that he lives in the area, but I don't remember seeing him.
Okay. And you never, again, we just want to get this out in the open now, just so.
Sure.
But yeah, there wasn't a time when you just said like, oh yeah, let's go skateboard or let's go do whatever real quick on that particular night. And
I didn't have my phone with me, so.
Right. But I mean, you could have communicated with your mom's office and said, yeah, I'll meet up with you, right?
We could have, but no.
You don't think you did?
No, I did see him skateboarding. No.
Oh, okay.
He was, no, as I was getting home, he was about a block from me. I saw him.
Okay.
So.
Did you guys chat quick or?
Some small talk, nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
And then.
What was the small talk about?
I don't remember. I don't remember conversations like that.
Okay.
Well, from not seeing Jeremy or even contacting him, Willard suddenly remembers even talking to him on Tuesday evening. Well, as said earlier, his web of lies begins. The longer the interrogation is going on, the more laughable his statements are becoming. But unfortunately, that's not where it ends.
Very, very quickly, evidence is starting to mountain up. Okay. We're beginning to get way past the who of this, and now we're trying to venture into the why. Okay. And if this was a spontaneous thing that in hindsight you and Jeremy wish that you hadn't done, okay, and maybe things got out of hand, and once things started going, you couldn't step back, okay, I understand that. I can't say that I agree with it, Jaden, but I understand it. Okay. But at this point, like I said, we're beyond the who. Okay. We're beyond that point. Okay. Now we're just wondering about the why. And what we haven't figured out yet, it's like we've got a line down a piece of paper and we've got two theories. That this was an impromptu thing, that it's just like, oh, this got out of hand. I was pissed. I was stressed. I shouldn't have done this. Or was this something that was planned out with time to plan it based on her routine that you said that you kind of knew about? That's kind of what I want to know. Was this just something that you had planned, or was this something that was just impromptu?
I didn't plan or kill anybody.
Again, we're past that point, Jaden. We've talked to people that have put you there with them.
Who has put me there with them?
Okay. I'm not going to tell them the same things that I'm not going to go to them and tell things that you said. I want your version of the story, okay? I can tell you, Jaden, that at this point, we have talked to a lot of different people. And when you have a crime like this, okay, when you have an incident like this, we have a whole staff of people looking at a computer screen and going through surveillance footage and thinking like, okay, mark that down, okay? And then you bring in people and they sit down.
That something was going down that day, and it was very sketchy, and I am very good with body language, and I knew that I did not want to be involved.
Okay.
And I got out of there because I want to completely disassociate myself from anything that would have happened.
You wanted to at that time?
Before anything happened,
okay.
I said, I need to get out of here. If something goes down,
mm-hmm.
I don't want to be involved at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I left, and I didn't assist with anything. I had no knowledge, but something was up, and
because it sounds like you did have knowledge. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I know it's just I something was gonna. I've been in situations where.
No, this isn't body language.
Okay.
So you don't shortchange it now.
I'm not shortchanging anything.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that I've been in situations where I may not be involved, but I may be with the people that did it or whatever it was, and things go south very, very quickly as soon as officers show up and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I could feel that this could be very easily be one of those situations.
Mm-hmm.
And so I left.
Okay, tell me about the situation that you're describing. And remember, and before you get started, just kind of remember what I just spent about 10 minutes explaining to you. Okay?
I was at Chautauqua with Jeremy, and I see Miss Graber's car pull up.
And this is yesterday.
And
or I'm sorry, 2 days ago, Tuesday night.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
And something didn't. I had some vibes, some prior something, because I don't know what's going to go down. And so I did.
Okay.
And I don't know anything past that point, other than the next day I see that she's not at school.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's back up a little bit. So, were you ever at your mom's work?
Yes.
Okay. When you went home, I assume you ran into Jeremy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's talk about that discussion.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead. I'll leave it open to you. Okay.
Okay. Conversations are very spontaneous with me and friends, so I can't remember what exactly. They can get interesting fast. But then we were walking down, and we went to Chautauqua, and I know that he was with his girlfriend, Zoe, and then we were hanging out for a little bit, and we were at the shelter that's. You can kind of see the parking lot, even though it's far off. You can see the parking lot.
Yeah. So you, Zoe, and Jeremy are at the shelter by the parking lot?
Not by the parking lot. But then Zoe has to leave. She leaves, and then she didn't seem right. And I see Miss Graber.
Don't glaze over that. What didn't seem right?
I had heard prior things from the past week about just a lot of people talking about Miss Graber, and just I knew something. I bet that there were other people at the park posted up, I don't know, on the trail or what, and I had seen some teenagers when they were coming.
Willard gets the idea that it's either him or his friends, and obviously he chooses to save himself. He's now trying to bring in more people into the incident so that he has a chance of escaping. He's basically trying to use scapegoats now.
And there were other people.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
This was not a one-person thing. There were 5, 6, 7 maybe.
Okay.
And so I'm walking down, and then we get to there's another trail that heads off, and there's a bench. And I sat and I said, "You think you're going? Because I can tell you got someone's going." And so I shook him off. We kept walking. And then a few minutes later, I looked down and I couldn't see who. There were multiple people around, and they were moving.
Moving what?
A body.
Okay.
And I freaked out. I had a panic attack, and I ran.
Okay. Who are these other people?
I couldn't tell you. Honestly, I couldn't see their faces. This was like.
It was Zoe
around the corner. No, not that. She's pretty short. I didn't see a short person.
Okay.
It was far away.
Okay. What weapons did you see?
I didn't see weapons because.
What motions did you see?
I didn't see motions. I just saw them moving something.
Okay. What verbiage did you hear about? Let's get this out on the table.
I was like.
No, not in the moment.
Okay.
But you talked about, like, I didn't plan it. Okay. Just take a deep breath with me. Okay. You talked about you knew something was going down, your spider sense. You didn't want to be directly in it. You're just in the outskirts.
Yeah. This happened to me before with Sergio. I don't know if you know anything about that. It's happened before, and I hate it. Mm-hmm. How easily people can be involved with something, or not involved, but totally like becoming involved with the resolution or the case mm-hmm. or whatever. I have seen it, and I've been in it, mm-hmm. and I knew this is out of my league. Mm-hmm. This is worse than anything I've ever seen, dealt with. This is, mm-hmm. I need to get out of here.
Okay. But you can understand where I'm coming from. When I have people who are saying you're...
The detective knows Willard is not telling the truth, but his patience till now is remarkable. The police had already investigated and had proof and statements against Willard, but they just wanted to hear the truth from him. However, as his web of lies continues, it starts becoming increasingly difficult for the detective to maintain a calm attitude. So, as he realizes that their interrogation is going nowhere, he lets the major crime unit deal with Willard.
Of straight work. So we're kind of running out of that bubble of when we're willing to sit here and be lied to versus when we're willing to sit here and actually have a productive conversation. Because if we're going to be lied to, we can go a lot of places to get lied to, or I can go to my bed and lie down. So if you want to have a productive conversation, obviously you've been told your rights. You know, we're not going to make any promises or guarantees to anything you have to say to us.
Okay.
But our goal is to gather the truth.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you want to initiate another conversation with us, we're all ears, but that's up to you.
Okay. The other guy, he's busy?
And they're even somebody else that came forward.
Okay. Because I also know that, so on Snapchat, you can rotate accounts. If you've logged in before, you click log out, find information, and then, like, you can swipe between accounts. And I was sending messages about the plan, like reacting and giving bits of input to make it seem like I'm not something that they have to worry about, even though I'm myself. And I know that I do streaks, so the way it like works, you can, after you send a message or whatever, that person's at the top. So with streaks, when people send me stuff, it quickly like fills up and there's irrelevant stuff. But I know that my account was used Saturday. Something was sent between Jeremy and I didn't send it. And I know that because I didn't have my phone. So when I saw that he was up there, I knew that wasn't.
So who's the ringleader?
I don't know, because I never got any direct contact with them.
Here's the deal. You're not stupid. You know who was putting this plan together. You know the plan. You know who was there. This is back to that whole I've been awake for 30 plus hours.
Yeah.
I don't have time for you to sit here and tell me I don't know who was there because they're wearing masks. This is Fairfield, Iowa. Mm-hmm. You can drive down the street, see a guy in a hooded sweatshirt with his hood up and go, oh, that's Bill or that's Bob. Because you lived here your entire life. It's small town. You've already told them this. So if you're going to provide...
I know that the ringleader was not there physically. I know that he didn't deal with the body.
But here's the other, if you're going to tell me some story, if you don't know who the ringleader is, who was there, who wasn't there, I personally don't have time for it. Because I have enough people coming forward saying, this is who did what. So This is your chance to tell your side of the story.
All I know is...
So who's the ringleader?
I had no direct contact.
You're pointing at...
I'm saying no, I have no direct contact with... I had no contact with the ringleader. All I know...
So who's the ringleader, though?
I can't tell you that, and I'm being dead.
But how do you know?
Because they were telling me that they were conversating and that they were getting plans. Kenny, Keaton, probably Jeremy, other people.
Okay, so Kenny, Keaton, who else?
Their general group.
So who else is in that group?
So they were all conversing.
Okay, who's they?
I don't know all of the names.
But you know more than two. You said their group.
Ben.
What's Ben's last name?
Sidores.
Okay, what's Keaton's last name?
York. And Chase. Jaeger, I want to say.
Jaeger?
Uh-huh.
What's Kenny's last name?
I don't know.
No.
But he has a twin brother. And I was just getting strange. The way that people talk, it's really confusing because you don't know who they're getting the information from exactly. They're just telling you something
What was the plan?
over text.
What was the plan?
To wait for her at Chautauqua because she goes on a walk after school every day.
Was Jeremy there?
At Chautauqua?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Who else was there?
Ben.
So Jeremy was there. Who else was there?
He didn't talk, but I think he was there because it looked like his body.
Willard goes on to name people who he believes were involved in the horrible murder. However, what police had with them was evidence pointing directly only at him and Jeremy. There were Snapchat messages that were exchanged between the two, which brought the police and Willard to the place they are now. But Willard still thinks he can get away with just a bunch of dumb lies.
And I know that Jeremy, I think he was a lookout too, because he could have been moving the body too, but I feel like I would have seen.
Do you understand how much trouble you're in right now?
No. I understand. This is pretty. And
You're giving me a half story,
I.
kind of like you gave Agent Kedley a
Because
half
I'm
story.
nervous.
So you should be, because somebody died. That's murder,
That's murder.
which in the state of Iowa, first-degree murder is punishable by life in prison.
A life sentence is 25 years.
No, a life sentence is you leave prison in a cardboard box. That is a life sentence in the state of Iowa. So if you want to sit here and go back and forth about who was there, who wasn't there, who this was, I've been here for way too long to sit here for you to give me this ring around the rosy of.
Because I'm not sure. I don't want to give you the wrong names, is what I'm saying, because this is a very.
You know who was there. None of this you're smiling about it.
Sense. No.
Somebody just got their head back. Like, that's not funny.
I'm aware. I didn't do the murder. I wasn't directly in front of the body.
You just helped. You just helped as a lookout.
I looked. I was the bitch, and I was being used.
But you don't know anybody that was there, which is pretty fucking sad for Fairfield. Because you know everybody in this goddamn town.
No, I do know who was there.
But you don't, because you said it's maybe Caitlin, maybe Jeremy.
No, Caitlin was there.
Okay, so
Jeremy was there. I met him first, and we walked to Chautauqua. Keaton was there.
Okay.
And one of the twins, I couldn't tell who. If not.
Willard was getting too comfortable with the previous detective, but as soon as the major crimes unit stepped in, his whole demeanor took a big change. He now knows that he's screwed and will only get out of prison in a wooden casket. But even at this point, he's trying hard to fabricate stories and is trying to throw Jeremy and his friends under the bus. But the question is, will it work?
Why did I think I'm... Well...
How come surveillance video doesn't show a BMW or that truck leaving the park? I don't know. You said you saw the cars in the park, and the video shows the van and a silver truck.
There's...
A nice silver truck.
They parked by the highway.
That's where they parked?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because when we were leaving, we walked down there and got in the cars. Because the road where the van
So you left when they were all leaving?
No.
You just said when you were leaving?
Yes. When they got me to move, because they needed help moving the car.
Mm-hmm.
We went,
Okay, your story sucks. You just need to be honest. It's really that simple. Like, your story sucks. If you want to be honest, I'll sit down with you and try version 19. You just said when we were leaving.
I'm trying to protect my own.
That's
not from you guys.
But that's the problem. You're still telling a half version of the truth, which doesn't work. So we call it the snowball effect. So you tell a little lie, and by now your avalanche makes no sense because you're full. So, like I said, I've been awake for way too long to listen to a story.
I ran off.
Even after a 2-hour-long interrogation, Willard didn't confess. His stories were making no sense, and all his statements were contradictory by themselves. The detectives didn't get what they needed. However, Jeremy was a different story.
Does this look familiar in terms of her walking path? Yeah. Okay. It's not going to be completely accurate, but just for my frame of reference, since I'm a Fairfield guy, can you put it an X generally where about she would have been walking at that time?
Well, she would have been walking along here.
Sure, yep.
And then roughly, you pretty much see right around here is an access trail. So you would hit her around probably here.
Something about there. And then where are you positioned at? Don't mark it, but where are you positioned
a little farther out, a little farther around here.
And then he's hiding somewhere in the tree area? Okay. And so you're kind of keeping a lookout here, and he's probably keeping a lookout down that way? Okay.
By he, Jeremy means Miller.
Okay, thank you. Would you mind just putting your initial right next to that X? It's not going to be perfect, that's okay.
Get equipment laid out. What equipment is she going to lay out?
It would have been the screwdriver, hammer, baseball bat, water, pocket knife.
And then were you instructed to bring any equipment yourself?
No.
Okay. And then so the plan is he's going to hit her in the head, you're going to stand watch out, and then you're going to together remove her from the trail. What's the plan after that?
There wasn't really a plan beyond that. Just improvisation.
Okay. Like hide the body, bury the body, stage the body?
At that time, we were going to hide the body and have it come up that we could try and make it look like it was a suicide of some sort of layer of tracks. That just didn't seem right. It didn't seem like it would work.
Unlike Miller, Jeremy was far more honest during his interrogation and clearly told the police everything they needed to know. Although the exact motive for the murder was never explicitly disclosed, it was widely believed to be rather straightforward. They received poor grades and consequently decided to kill their teacher. Ultimately, Willard Miller's trial was scheduled for March 20th, 2023, and Jeremy Goodall's trial was set for October 5th, 2023. The evidence at Miller's trial was concrete. Starting from Miller's statements, data from his cell phone, and a conversation record from his Snapchat account all proved Miller guilty. On April 18, 2023, the final judgment was made when both Miller and Jeremy pleaded guilty to first-degree murder of Nohema Graber. On July 6, 2023, Miller got his final verdict.
Find that your intent and actions were sinister and evil. Those acts resulted in the intentional loss of human life. Fashion. There's no excuse. There is not a systemic societal problem that exclusively justifies your acts. Now, this offense, along with the required 25 factors that I am to consider in sentencing a juvenile in the state of Iowa for murder in the first degree, that the defendant, Willard Noble Chaden Miller, should be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 35 years. This sentence is permissible under the Iowa law. A 35-year mandatory minimum is not cruel and unusual punishment for the defendant, as it represents the appropriate time of incarceration for the defendant and Mr. Goodell's premeditated.
After the verdict, Miller apologized to both Nohema's family and his own.
I'd like to take this opportunity to wholeheartedly accept responsibility for the role that I've played in the murder of Nohema Graber.
Time I've ever heard some type of an attempted apology from Mr. Miller. I don't believe it because he showed no sign of remorse whatsoever. Open your soul to the Lord and maybe ask for forgiveness there first, because you're on a spiral straight to hell.
4 months later, on November 15th, 2023, Jeremy Goodell was sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
I want to say I'm grateful for this chance to speak my piece. I offer my sincerest apologies to the Graber family, but I know my words will never be enough. I've had time to think on what to say, and I'm sorry, truly sorry. What I've taken can never be replaced. Every day I wish I could go back and stop myself, prevent this loss and this pain that I've caused everyone. Everyone in the community and outside of it, those closest to me and those closest to the Graber family, as well as the Graber family. I didn't know how taking Miss Graber's life would affect you. I can't comprehend losing a loved one in such an awful way. I'm sorry I didn't stop this from happening in the first place. And I'm understanding now that Miss Graber meant so much to so many people. She was a support to the community and those close to her.
Justice was served, and the two criminals were incarcerated, yet the trauma associated with the case lingered, proving difficult to overcome. Fairfield police officer Julie Kinsella addressed the community's ordeal during the hearing, saying, "We had students that were scared to death to attend class. We had teachers that didn't want to teach for concerns of their own safety. I don't think that our community will ever be the same again. I think it's devastated us." So what's your take on the case? Did Miller and Jeremy get the right punishment, or should it have been harsher? Do you think they killed Nohema just because of bad grades, or could there have been other reasons? Let us know your opinions. We'd like to hear from you. Also, if you have any case in mind that you want us to cover, feel free to drop your suggestions in the comment section. And for more such content, like, share, and subscribe to our channel.